Would you believe me if I told you this is one of the worst YouTubers to ever come out? And you might say, well, what happened? What did he do? Was he caught texting a minor? I mean, is that why you dislike him? Was he caught? Not as far as we know. His biggest sin of them all has been creating his YouTube channel. Someone told me about this video. Shout out to whoever it was, I forgot. But it was on Twitter, and follow my Twitter, by the way. That'd be great. So it turns out a few months ago, he made a video called You're Wrong About Modern Art. And where he calls out Charlie, aka Critical. And on top of that, he says some really stupid stuff. But as we've seen online, this guy makes everything political. If you're driving a Volkswagen, and you're like, hey, you know, I love my little car, he will be like, fun fact, do you know where that came from and what that company was doing in the 1930s and 40s? By that logic, you're a Nazi if you own the Volkswagen. I truly believe this is one of the worst videos I have ever seen in my entire life. Let's just get right into it.
Of course, there's a political component, right? All art is inherently political, either in its influences, messages, or implication. 101, guys, this is baby stuff.
If that's the case, if every piece of art is political, what does this mean, Ethan? Where do I fall under? Right? Left? Center? Up? Down? I mean, he did say every piece of art has some politics in it. Once again, his pretentious attitude shows here. Come on, guys. It's fucking baby stuff. How dare you be a retard?
In its influences, messages, or implication. 101, guys, this is baby stuff. Art critique is really just opinion, but a lot of people let right-wing propaganda cloud their judgment of modern art, whether they realize it or not. All because it helps them feel better in not wanting to engage with it. In an ideal conservative world, art is interpreted for people through a YouTube video full of lying, misinformation, emotional manipulation, false comparisons. But this happens every day. PragerU has made at least a dozen videos fooling your old grandpa about modern art. All of them are completely nonsense and wrong. But why is it then I hear the same boring, shallow, fragile talking points from people who should be way more in touch with culture? Listen, yeah, I know his face is in the thumbnail, and yeah, this video is kind of about Charlie. But listen, it's not personal. I'm trying to compare content that realistically should have nothing in common. Fascist propaganda and gamer streamer should not be saying the same things. The difference is PragerU's content is motivated and has an agenda. Charlie is just being a useful idiot for that agenda.
You guys see how fucked up this guy's brain is? This guy had to go through multiple, and I mean multiple jumping points and mental gymnastics to get to his point. So this guy that I don't like is a bigot. And this guy that, you know, whatever on Charlie, he's a useful idiot. Now, this is something that he loves to say. And that useful idiot, that's what he called me in our call. In a nutshell, based on what I heard from Ethan, the guy who bullies gay people and autistic kids and shoves them in the locker, his words, not mine.
I ended up bullying a kid and then we ended up being friends because I think we were both, I think he was gay and I was queer, so.
Oh, you bullied him for being gay when you were gay?
Yeah, you know, kids have kind of a gaydar a little bit. He was either gay or autistic. I don't know.
And he admits to being a bully, which is really funny considering the way he looks. I mean, if I really wanted to and YouTube wasn't so strict, I could, you know, a million insults come to mind right away. But I'm not gonna fall into this little game of, you know, insulting people. This is one of Ethan's favorite terms, useful idiot, which according to him is just someone who's normal, who spreads right-wing propaganda without knowing, but they're helping the right. Once again, according to Mr. Ethan is offline. His issue is the fact that he reacted to a video by someone that Ethan doesn't like, and therefore Charlie's a useful idiot. And if you guys notice, he's mad because Charlie doesn't agree with what Ethan thinks. And at the start of the video, he says, I know that art is subjective, but except the ones I don't like, then it's not subjective, and I think it's either shit or it's good, whatever benefits me as a person.
Charlie doesn't watch PragerU for his art analysis content. He probably didn't even get the talking points from them, but they're still saying the same thing. Charlie's just an average guy with an average brain in his head. Florida average, but average.
And right here, he's dissing Charlie's intelligence. And, you know, I'm not a Charlie Dick writer. I enjoy his content. I don't watch it all the time, but he seems like a pretty solid guy, right? But Ethan here thinks he's smarter than everyone else who he doesn't like. I'm smarter than Sensitive Society. And be like, well, Charlie's kind of like smart to be a Florida man. You are a fucking retard, like straight up. Have you guys noticed that the people who are always like, I'm so smart, I'm so smart, I'm so smart, are usually the dumbest people you will ever come across? And it's people who look like this, who are everything wrong with society. If you don't agree with me and everything I say, you are a right winger. This is such a bad video. This is actually asked
To politically motivated propaganda. Content that we all know is dishonest. Listen, it's nothing personal, it's nothing against Charlie, I've met him before, he's very nice, I just don't know why he's like this. Okay, first things first, why is modern art so bad by PragerU from 8 years ago? You know, like a painting, we're laying down the foundation of what I'm going to be talking about. And since this video is made to target fatherless teenagers, Robert Florczak is here to help us all think.
This is really funny considering Ethan never had a dad, so who's really fatherless here? His dad left to get the milk because he probably saw into the future. Some random guy probably came up to Ethan's dad, he showed him a crystal ball and he was like, if you stay with your family, if you stay with your son Ethan, this is his future. And he was mortified. He was like, oh my god, ew, what did he turn into? What is that thing? And that's why his dad probably left him, because he was like, Jesus Christ, even if I try my hardest, my kid is going to be a fucking loser who slanders people, who lies and covers for someone. I can't deal with this. So that's most likely why Ethan's dad left him. And I don't know, it's just really funny seeing someone like that be like, fatherless kids. Now, I don't know nothing about this guy, PragerU, or whatever the fuck his channel is, but the way Ethan behaves and he's done in the past, I wouldn't be surprised if this is just a random guy or a normal guy who Ethan doesn't like based on his politics.
Conservatives are so artistically and creatively bankrupt that their understanding of art hits a hard limit at, if it's not pretty, I don't want to see it. This old stuff, it's pretty and it took a long time, so that means it's better. They pretend like they don't think exactly like that, but they do.
The different and the ugly.
Nah, new art style's ugly. I mean, that's mad. Not only is that completely subjective, but the other two are synonyms. And
I mean, look at him with his little fucking vape. This guy's addicted to 3 things: fast food, weed, and vaping. That's all this guy does. And I love how at the start he says, and I already said this, right? But he was like, art is subjective. Unless I don't agree with you, then whatever you like is complete shit. You Nazi, you fascist. I mean, this person says there's no objective standard in art. Now let me tell you why this art sucks. Like, dude, what if someone thinks old art is way better than the new one? Is this opinion invalid according to you? Or what if there's someone else from right now who thinks old art is shit and lame? That's completely valid. There's no reason why your video has to be 43 minutes long.
Robert, what are we doing? But also, he's talking about Impressionism. Ugly? Yeah? Ugly? There's a reason they aren't using any actual examples.
Today, the silly, the pointless, and the purely offensive are held up as the best of modern art.
I guess this last one is supposed to be Warhol, I guess. People typically like those.
I want to know, does Ethan have an art degree? Did he go to school for art? What's his credentials? I mean, I don't have any, right? I think this one right here is cool. I don't know anything about art, okay? I'm just like, that's lit, that's shit, that's meh. I don't know what it means. Oh, that one's cool. I like it. I'm not claiming to be an expert by any means, but I just want to know, what gives Ethan the credibility to be judging a professional when you're just a fucking YouTuber with the high school diploma? Like, where do you stand? Like, what are your credentials? YouTuber? Vapor? Where are you pulling these good opinions from? That's what I want to know. That would be the equivalent of me, a guy who knows very little about cars, being like, let me tell you why this old ass guy who thinks and knows and has the credentials to be a pretty good racer and he knows all the cars, let me tell you why you're wrong, and let me make a 40-minute video about it. Oh, what's my credentials? Oh, nothing. I mean, I drive a car, but I think I know more than you do. With all the years you've studied, I just think I'm better because I'm a YouTuber from LA who's a complete douchebag, and I think I'm better than everyone else, despite probably being one of the biggest idiots on the platform who has no idea what they're talking about most of the time, who needs to constantly vape and read a script to get their point across because they're too weak. Who do you think you are? You're not an expert. You don't know anything. Just because you went to a free museum on a Sunday doesn't mean you know shit.
All right, no more Robert. Charlie time. For those of you who don't know who this is, he is just a YouTuber. He's like Markiplier if Markiplier played Fortnite instead of Five Nights. I do want to be as charitable as possible. These videos are from streams, so it's not like these are written and produced like Robert Florczak's are. It's just some dude in his little house that he lives in. In the first video, Art Makes No Sense, Charlie is watching a video by Solar Sands about Thomas Kincaid. But during the entire lead up to the intro, he won't stop assuming it's either Jackson Pollock or Damien Hirst.
These paintings make my corneas hurt. I'm ashamed that this
Damien
artist
Hirst.
lived in my former hometown. The George
This is
W.
Damien Hirst.
Bush of art. Gee, these paintings must be pretty bad then,
It's Damien Hirst,
what are
isn't
they,
it?
pictures of babies eating each other alive?
Charlie's already mad about modern art, and this video isn't even about modern art. It's about tacky, wacky jigsaw puzzle art made by an evangelical alcoholic con man.
Artists
by
suck.
the late artist Thomas Kincaid.
God damn it.
He's so mad about paintings that aren't even in the video, he's getting distracted.
What part of him was mad? Did Charlie go, yo, what the frick is this? Yourself, this is trash, burn it, retire, go home to your mama and cry, you're a failure, you flop, you're in your flop era, please never upload again? Charlie just said, artists suck, and laughed. And Ethan got that and took it to, yeah, Charlie was mad, and because he's a Florida man with an average IQ, and I'm Ethanisonline, and I'm the nerd emoji, and I know everything. Dude, put the weed down. It's making you act up. It's making you crazy. You need help. I think you need to go to rehab.
He's so mad about paintings that aren't even in the video, he's getting distracted.
I hate Thomas Kincaid with every fiber of my being. Our long
Channel that
national
energy to
nightmare
someone
is
that
over.
deserves it,
There's
like
nothing
Damien
wrong
Hirst.
with-
I don't know why more people don't hate people like Damien Hirst and Jackson Pollock. Their work is the most awful dog shit ever.
And when someone points out in the chat that all art is subjective, he says this.
It is estimated his business brought in $100 million in revenue annually.
Art is
Thomas
always
Kincaid
subjective.
was
Yeah,
wildly
until it comes to
successful.
Damien Hirst or
As
Jackson
easy as
Pollock, then
would
it is
be to
objectively
dismiss
dog
all
shit.
this hatred-
Which, I'm not the biggest Hirsch head in the world, but Pollock? Really?
Kind of sounds like you are. This is something that I noticed with Ethan. He always says something at the start of the video. He's like, everything's fine, whatever your opinion is. And then later down the line, he switches up and he's like, if you didn't think like me, if you didn't agree with me, you're wrong. And this is why you're wrong. Therefore, you get a 40-minute video. I don't think he's ever watched a critical video in his entire life. Satire, and even if it's not satire, he actually means it. It's just his opinion. Like you said, right? And this video is just your opinion. What's there to be mad about? That's just how he feels.
Charlie says that most modern artists can't paint like a face or anything like that.
I guarantee you, Damien Hirst, Jackson Pollock, all of like your most famous artists, like more modern artists. I guess Jackson Pollock doesn't fit into that. I guarantee they couldn't draw a single person's face. They couldn't paint a single thing that looks like anything.
This is a challenging critique. He then immediately defends Bob Ross, who rarely ever painted faces because those are hard to paint.
Yeah, I remember Bob Ross was shit upon by most like fart-sniffing artists back in the day. Anything that looks like it has any form or shape to it, or anything that looks like it took time and effort, is very frowned upon in the community.
I don't think the level of realistic face you can paint determines your value as an artist.
You know, Ethan seems like the type of guy to shit himself and enjoy the smell of it. I don't know what it is about him, but you can just tell. He thinks his farts are the best, and he will enter them into a championship because no one could beat him. Man, this video is way too long, but it's way too fun. Let's just watch a little bit more of it.
Charlie gets really frustrated at the definition of the word kitsch because he thinks it's pretentious.
Kitsch is, unlike art, a utilitarian object lacking all critical distance between object and observer. It
God, these
offers
people are so
instantaneous
fucking
emotional
pretentious, it hurts.
gratification
He doesn't really elaborate, but I'm going to assume that he's saying that it's pretentious to seek meaning in art that looks passable enough.
You are pretentious. He's talking about people like you, fucking losers, who are the definition of pretentiousness. Your opinion is wrong about art, and I'm here to lecture you because I'm a savior. And why don't you guys think exactly like me? It's a miracle he got to 250,000 subscribers. A lot of dumb people out there, and but you know, hopefully they realize how bad this guy is. Not only I'm making videos, but just his talking points are pretty doo-doo. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just gonna end the video here. This is a bad video. It's not an opinion. Objectively, this video shit, and delete it. Do yourself a huge favor. Anyway, I'm not even gonna do an outro. Just like this video and subscribe. Notifications on so you don't miss the next one. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. All right, I brainwashed you. All right, I'm gonna head out now. Peace.